Found alive after 8 years, Rudy Farias has been missing since March of 2015.
And thank God he's alive. I mean, this is one of them miracles that you don't experience very often.
A Good Samaritan found him unresponsive outside this church.
There was a person that were trying to wake him up. HPD couldn't wake him up.
Rudy's family is excited. I mean, they are over the moon. They're excited, but they're also worried. Rudy's not doing well.
Each year, more than 600,000 Americans go missing. And the vast majority of the missing persons cases are solved quickly, usually within a year. In this age of smartphones, doorbell cameras, and facial recognition, for a person to just vanish into thin air is kind of rare. But today, we're going to talk about one of those cases. This is the story of Rudy Farias, a 17-year-old boy from Houston, Texas, who was reported missing in 2015. He went out for a walk with his 2 dogs and never returned home. His mother reported him missing after the dogs were found, but Rudy was nowhere to be found. Was he kidnapped by a stranger? Was he a victim of human trafficking? What if I told you none of the above? Rudy Farias' disappearance defies logic and explanation. This past summer, on June 29, 2023, almost a decade after he was last seen, Rudy Farias was found unresponsive outside of a church.
There was a person that were trying to wake him up. HPD couldn't wake him up.
After police arrived, Rudy Farias was still unresponsive. He was found with cuts and bruises all over his body, even blood in his hair. His mother, Janie Santana, told KTRK News in Houston that she believed that her son had been abducted and beaten. Immediately, the story caught fire.
Rudy's mom said her son is now receiving the care he needs to overcome his trauma. She said he's currently nonverbal and is not able to communicate with them.
But now everyone wanting to know, how did Rudy end up here after 8 years?
But it turns out that Rudy Farias was never lost to begin with. In fact, he actually returned home the day after he was reported missing. So what's the real story here? What was Rudy Farias doing the entire time he was missing? Well, it turns out that Rudy Farias and his mother, Janie Santana, were telling an almost decade-long lie to their friends, their family, community members, and even law enforcement. I'm Javier Leiva, and this is Pretend, stories about real people pretending to be someone else. To listen to an audio version of this and my entire back catalog, subscribe to Pretend wherever you get your podcasts.